Pam and Tommy, season 1. There's going to be one season. The story's done. But they build it as like, not limited series. I didn't say limited series. It's a fucking limited series. Okay. Pam and Tommy. I am so excited to talk about this show. Mainly because if you've followed my channel for any time and you've seen some of my Geek Wave stuff where I do my podcast, you will know that I was so freaking excited for Pam and Tommy. I am a massive fan of Pamela Anderson. I love that woman. I adore the work she has done. I think the world has treated her harshly. She is a great, nice person that I support almost everything she does, and I just adore her. I love her. I admire her. She's great. Who gives a shit about Tommy Lee? He's a grown man child. Nobody should care about him. Whatever. You tell me you're going to do a limited series based on the scandal of their sex tape. I'm interested solely because, yeah, there's something there that could be explored. There's some interesting beats you could play with. I lost interest in the project right around the time I found out Pamela Anderson didn't really want this to be made. Tommy Lee could care less. You know, he's like, yeah, do it. I don't care as long as I'm getting money for it and you promote Motley Crue. I don't care. He doesn't care. But Pamela Anderson, the most important part of this series, if she is not willing to have this made or she doesn't want it to be made, then you don't make it. You do not make this without her support and her consent to it. Because when she doesn't support it, you are making her go through the same shit she went through when the tape originally leaked. And that's something I do want to bring up. This is one of the rare shows, I wholeheartedly believe, where being the audience member, being somebody who's actively pursuing every episode and watching the show, makes you the villain of the piece. Because we cannot let this die. This is coming back into popularity. We kind of just let it skate by for a bit, but nope. We're bringing it back up again. We're redigging this grave. We are unhealing these wounds. We are making Pamela, in real time, in the real world, relive these events that shattered her life. The fact that we as an audience are letting that happen makes us the villains of this piece, and I wholeheartedly believe that. I really do. It's terrible. The fact that this show decided we're going to actively refilm scenes from the sex tape, make them look authentic and perfect, and then keep playing those scenes in almost every episode of this show is so heartbreakingly tragic. Like, there's no point to it. We know it's about the sex tape. You don't have to show us the sex tape. That sucks and that hurts because now anybody who actively watches this is either going to be like, where's the real sex tape? And, oh, this is really cool. It's, again, abusing the image of Pamela Anderson for the sake of art. And you know what? The art sucks. This is going to be hard to say. Let me put it this way. I can get behind you telling this story against her wishes. I personally don't like it. I think it's stupid and arrogant and rude. But if you were to make something that is so creatively beautiful and poignant and is in support of Pamela, then yes, I will agree with you. The problem that this show faces is the problem that every limited series based on real life events faces. There's no fucking need to show this much. This is 8 episodes, all varying in time, that really serve no purpose. There is no pacing or flow to this show. One episode, here's Rand's story. The other episode, here's Tommy's story. The other episode, here's this shit. Here's all this random crap that there's no pacing or flow to it. It's trying to cram too much into it at once, and this is the problem with these biopic things. Choose one part of the person's life to focus on. We don't need to see their whole career. We are aware of the sex tape. It's in the cultural zeitgeist. We get that. You don't have to show us the day they met, the day they had the pregnancy scare, the day Rand did this, what Rand was doing before this, what everybody in the porn industry was doing before this, what the mobsters were doing here and there. We don't have to see that. We don't have to do all the deposition stuff. We don't have to see these separate events after the sex tape is filmed. We don't have to see any of this stuff to make these characters relevant. We all know what's happening. We know what we're watching. And having it drag out for 8 episodes is so painful, both in terms of why are we making Pamela live through this, and in terms of this really adds nothing to the story. There are full episodes you could cut out of this and nothing would change, just because Everything that we're here to see is the wrong thing we're here to see. If you wanted to focus solely on the deposition where Pamela has to live through this experience and have her world break, and you could add in flashbacks in between those, I would buy it. But when it's just like, that's only going to be like the 35-minute episode, and then we're going to have a full one where Rand's trying to like sell his tape, and for some reason, the tonal shift is so jarring for everything this show does. I hate it. I actively think I feel like I'm an asshole for watching this show. Just because I'm supporting this is bad. First off, they want to just gloss over how insensitive all of the males in this show are by making us laugh at Tommy Lee's dick. There's one fucking scene in this movie or the show, whatever, who cares, where we see Tommy Lee's penis and it talks to him and it's supposed to be funny, as if like, hey, look how tongue-in-cheek we're being. But then in the next fucking episode, it's like, here is how this woman's life is being broken down in front of her because the men in this show, the men in the real world that affected this woman, are assholes, but it's okay because it's tongue-in-cheek. There's Tommy Lee's penis. Fuck off. Why even have that scene? It's one moment showing like their chemistry and they're having wild sex, but the rest of it, I'm like, this is not needed. You did not need to deliberately tease your audience, pardon the pun there, by showing them like, hey, look how silly we're going to be. Tommy Lee's penis is in love with Pamela Anderson. Fuck you. There is no need for that shit. It is the only scene in which we do that. Why? I don't know. Because immediately after that scene, Tommy Lee is not the focus of this show. So why it's there? Who cares? I will say 2 positive things about this show. The first one, you buy the love between Pam and Tommy. They do a okay job of portraying like these two. They are brash, they make wrong choices, but they love each other even though those choices are silly. I will give them that. Whether that's the real case of the world or not, I don't know. I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but just in terms of the show we're watching, it does try to present Tommy Lee as a supportive husband. Was he? I don't think he wasn't. But you can't tame a bull and tell him to become like a bull in a fucking barn. I don't know, bullshit. Weird term. You can't tell a bull in a china shop not to break shit. I don't know. It's like, cool. It feels like you're setting up something for Tommy and then that's it. It's okay. The other thing I like, it wants to be on Pamela's side. It is on Pamela's side, but it doesn't feel like it's authentically on Pamela's side. It's more like we're presenting the case of what's happening here. And that's fine. But to me, this shouldn't be a case of we're just presenting what's happened. When you made I, Tonya, you were clearly in defense of I, Tonya. Tonya Harding, that's who you're supporting. You're on her team. Everyone else is a dopey idiot. This show wants to be on Pamela's team, and it kind of is, but then it's like, but Rand is also a guy we should support, you know? Nick Offerman's a guy we should support. These guys are just trying to get by. Fuck you, okay? I don't care that Rand learned a lesson in the end. That doesn't matter to me. He was an asshole from the beginning, making bad choices and doing the wrong shit. You want me to sit here and be in support of this asshole? No, I'm not. Giving him that much screen time to learn a lesson? No. I'm sorry. No. I am not going to, like, even in the real world, I'm like, we just let this guy go by? He stole from Tommy Lee. Not just the tape, but a bunch of other shit. Did he get charged for that? I don't think so. Or maybe he did and they don't even bring it up in the show. I'm just like, really? Why do we need that much focus on this piece of shit? The only character who I honestly believe comes out of this unscathing is Pamela Anderson, because she should. This is a battle between 2 huge dicks, literally and figuratively. 2 huge dicks are fighting each other. Rand Gauthier and Tommy Lee. Pam is just caught in the middle. So the fact that she comes out unscathed from this matters to me, because she should. But the film, like the entirety of the series, it's not on her side. It's just like, here's what Pamela did next. Here's the scenes where we did not need the episode. I even talked about this in episode of the month when I did this for the episode. We did not need the deposition scene where a group of old men are watching this sex tape with Pamela Anderson and we're catching her reaction. Does it lead to a cool acting moment for Lily James? Sure. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. It just feels like we are trying to support Pamela by also not supporting Pamela. Because if we truly supported Pamela, we wouldn't have made the show. Okay? That's all I got there. Aside from the pacing being terrible, the story being terrible, the tones being off at every fucking scene, the acting is so easily cookie cutter. I will commend Lily James for embodying Pamela Anderson. Does she look authentically like her? At a lot of times, she does. She looks fantastic. I think that transformation was fantastic. All you did for Sebastian was dye his hair and tell him to scream, which fine, that's cool. He doesn't look anything like Tommy Lee, but I guess it's good. Seth Rogen did okay. He just did Seth Rogen, and I don't think it's a problem. But yeah, that's not special to me, and I think that's a big fault. It's like you really wanted to make this something unique and creative, and all you did was show why dragging out stuff in a limited series hurts biopics and real life stories. Focus on one niche thing, that's it. This was a complete mess of a show. I am really upset with how it turned out. I want to sit here and tell you like this is going to make you appreciate the case of Pamela Anderson more, but it doesn't. I will say though, during like the halfway point of the show's release, Netflix announced that Pamela Anderson will be making a documentary based on her life that's been years in the making. Watch that when that comes out. Skip this. Do not watch Pam and Tommy. It is annoying. It is loud. It doesn't serve any purpose, and there's no reason to keep up with this. It's hurtful to her. It's hurtful to the audience because it makes you the asshole for needing to know what happens next in this case. That is in the public consciousness. Shut the fuck up. I do not want to see any more shows made like this. The only saving grace is Lily James really, really tries to make you care about Pamela Anderson. Even when the series itself is actively trying to keep her neutral, Lily James is making you be like, no, this woman was wrong. She was hurt. You should support her. Don't support any of these other white fucking men. They're all terrible dudes. She's the one you should be caring about. That is the saving grace of this show. She is the saving grace of this show. Pamela Anderson deserved better, and I think Barbed Wire deserved more people watching it because it's silly good. Okay? I liked Barbed Wire. Okay? I really am not excited for the next biopic anymore. They all are just killing me creatively. So Pam and Tommy, the limited series, I'm going to give a 3 out of 10 only because Lily James's Pamela Anderson is really freaking good. So thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Rock on. Don't actually. Just quietly simmer out like the sex tape should. But we brought it back into public consciousness. Okay, bye.